in that feed.
Hey, it's your boy Darnell. Before we even introduce the guests or my co-hosts, listen, the podcast meet and greet sponsored by Wolf Nation Studios is July 13th from 4 until 7 p.m. at Good Friends Beer and Garden House at 1154 PV Road, Dallas, Texas. Meet us there.
Hey.
Okay. But
I feel like I had to throw that in there.
all right. Just in case they've been living under a rock, first episode, let them know who you are.
This is April Danielle of Talkin Greasy, and just of April Danielle. Follow me on my Instagram, April Danielle's APRYLDANYELLE. I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather today, so if I sound crazy, crazier than normal. That's why. And Mr. Darnell, how are you?
I'm doing good, but let's not be rude to our
right.
guests. Hey, man, introduce yourself.
So what's up? This is AJ from the What We Gonna Do podcast. You know, out here representing.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate being here.
Yes.
Hey, man, I appreciate it too, but let's go ahead and start it off with the question of the week.
Oh, Lord.
Question of the week. Question of the week. Question of the week. What? Question of the week. Question of the week. Question of the week.
Hey!
The question of the week is having access to too much information a good thing? And most people would look at me and say, "Oh, that's a stupid question." But at the end of the day, you got people trying to diagnose state doctors, like people who ain't got no medical degrees. Dr. Savvy now, they a dentist now. They do their own home decoration and still look like shit by themselves. It's just a whole thing. It's like a good thing, bad thing to have so much information. I mean, what about you? Do you feel like people too smart for their own life?
I mean, look, I didn't talk about this, I want to say on my podcast. I can't remember exactly which episode, but I did kind of talk about just kids and us, and it's made us basically desensitized. So just like you said, you got individuals who are trying to, whatever, be doctors, make bombs, do whatever little, stuff just based off of the internet. But you also got a lot of people that are just not living real life. Like, that's kind of, at least when I think about, the availability of information, it's like, yo, you got to get outside. You got to experience these things. Like, it's one thing to, look at a picture and look at a video, and then for you to actually get outside.
They living life online.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like.
I know what you mean, because, like, the fucked up thing is dating ain't fun as it was for our parents or like their grandparents. Because think about it, a person was a complete mystery till you got there.
That's true.
Nowadays, I know where you went. I know you wore that dress 3 times already. I know you broke.
You looking at my Instagram? No,
I know I can properly pick out your last couple of sex partners if I just look through your friends list hard enough. It's like there's no.
Wait a minute, what kind of digging y'all doing? How do you know the sex partners?
I mean, come on, we
now,
know.
First off,
we said we weren't going to talk about sex too.
I mean, if we go through your friend list, we know you. We know the type of niggas you'll hit.
That's a fact. And you can tell, come on now, with the pictures, they got the tattoo in the picture, they got the watch, like, that's the nigga with the same watch right there that was in the bed that night or whatever.
What?
And y'all women know. Y'all is
my
on
God.
dudes' Instagrams, on their Facebooks, looking up all their history from when they was a baby up until when they got married, when they got divorced. Now, so don't act like it's not available and that information
exactly.
And you know
it's available. I'm not gonna lie. I am a private investigator.
But you know what? And you know what? That brings up a good point about having too much information. The more information people have, it's like the more privacy you don't have. Like, think about. Like, nothing is private nowadays.
But that's on you though, on how much you give out. As far as privacy.
I mean, fair, but let's keep it a buck. As far as privacy, if you got a certain hacking skill or you dig just slightly into somebody's information, it is not that hard. You can hack everything nowadays.
No, don't get in trouble
your
with the
phone,
government talking now.
your emails, your apps, your doorbells, your everything.
But you ain't even got to do that, really. I mean, again, most people don't even have their stuff on private. Everything is on Front Street. A lot of people have had their social media a long time, so they still using their government name. They don't even have some type of pseudonym or something like that.
Man.
So it's all out there if you just pretty much put in that person's name.
I guess you're right. And the sad part is, some people be like, "Oh, why y'all in my business?" Like, what you mean? Like,
See, okay, that's
like,
the part I have a problem with. Like
like-
you said with the privacy, like we only see as much as you put out there. So if you putting it out there, don't be surprised that somebody saw it and is going to comment about it.
okay, let me flip that. How much? Well, I mean, it's too late because you lost privacy 2009, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
How much information do you want, like your boss, the government, of the general public besides yourself to
Well, the
have
government's
access
don't know
to?
everything, so that's a whole nother
I mean,
conversation
debatable,
again.
but yes,
I don't know if it's
majority.
debatable.
I mean,
Yeah.
the government claim to know everything, but they still can't find people to put them on child support. You know what I mean? It's so weird how the government can find somebody when they need to, when they ain't paid their taxes, but they can't find people to put them on child support.
That's
So
true.
I ain't even gonna get too
I'm
far.
gonna say,
into
who you
that.
trying to put on child
I
support?
mean, I'm just saying, it definitely happens. But
Yeah.
like for me, so with what we gonna do, pod. So Instagram, Twitter. It's really for the podcast. I don't have a personal page. I did away with my personal pages a long time ago, and I really try to keep business and personal separate, just because there are two different individuals that you're dealing with, and you can take certain things out of context. Like at the end of the day, I still want to be me.
Yeah.
But I know how to move in different rooms. So everything that I am is not out there for my job to see.
Yeah, and ain't you married?
I am married. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
what they can literally pull up a tweet from when did you get married?
It's 10 years, man. 6/20/2009.
Oh,
Oh,
congrats.
they can pull up a tweet or something from '08, but like where the hoes at, and nobody will look at the date on it, and they'll be like, "Oh, you see him?"
And now your wife is calling you like, what you talking about? But yeah, I get it. But I need to do that. And we talked about that before. I don't really have separate pages for my personal and my, I guess you would say, podcast life. And I need to do that. Because you're right, because I actually am very involved with my work. If y'all know me, I'm a work nerd. And I'm in like everything. I'm one of those girls. I'm that person. I'm in every group, everything at work. And I was actually featured on my works, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that. And so I know I was kind of like, I was scared because I was like, if regular people click on that and then they start going down, they go down the rabbit hole of my actual page, they're going to be like, wait a minute, why she get recognized for that? She a whole hoe out here.
That's a fact.
But no,
all my stuff is set to self-destruct. Literally.
Oh,
I got my YouTube, my Twitter, my Instagram.
Oh, so
that shit will go down at any point in time if the right people find it or whatever.
Are you how?
I'm
Teach
prepared.
me.
No, I'm just saying I am prepared. So most time you log into stuff and you kind of forget about it. People say their passwords, they don't write it down. I'm just basically saying I know how to delete all my shit. If I need to.
Like
that's all that I'm saying. Like at any time, I'm like, this shit can go or whatever, because I realize obviously I got a wife. I got a daughter, but at the same time, I want to be me. So I want to get to that position to where I can be like a D.L. Hughley. I can be like some of these other individuals. They can be themselves at their job and off their job.
Yeah.
But I'm not at that point yet.
Oh my God, that's crazy. See, I need to do that. I'm not doing that. Go ahead, sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, like me, I'm with you on that, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Like at the end of the day, the only thing on my page is like Talking Greasy or like my friend's small business. Like they be like, oh, this product is coming out here and this event coming out here. Boom. Like y'all don't need to know what I think. I'm really ashamed to know what you think. So, cause I mean, like you know that old saying, people don't know you dumb till you speak. That's a fact.
Yeah,
that is a
true.
fact.
I know.
Cause
That's part of my
like it's been women and certain restaurants and everything else or other type of businesses. I'm like, I want to go here. Then I see how they write, see how they talk to people. I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
So basically, right, we're going back to the dating too, right? Social media kills all that. Like, because you don't know. Like, you're just seeing the aesthetic. You're seeing the curated part of their life. You're not seeing, can they write? Can they spell? Do they know the right, proper term of there, and there? Stuff like that.
Oh,
Come on.
I'm just saying. You
Listen,
don't know this until.
I'm sorry, that's not a deal breaker if you
It
bad.
is for me.
If you that bad, at spelling or whatever.
First of all, in a digital age and you can't spell, yes.
No,
that's a deal breaker.
No, if you making simple mistakes, because let's be honest, when you on the phone,
simple mistakes when there's digital,
when you on
there's
phone,
digital corrections everywhere.
Listen, when you on your phone, you just tapping stuff. You ain't thinking it out. Now, if you writing a thesis paper or something and you like this week and you spell week WEAK, then okay, then then I'll be like, okay.
And I've seen people do that.
If you being graded, but you got spell check. So I mean, I kind of feel both sides. Like utilize your spell check.
I mean, but even
I mess up a lot,
even
especially on Twitter. And I hate that you cannot edit your tweets.
I hate tweets. I hate that too.
Even
if I'm
spell
check,
even
tweet, I'll delete it.
Even spell check have its dumb moments. I mean, you be trying to cuss or make if you ain't trying to arrange the word right, it'll throw the whole thing off.
That is a fact.
I agree, but I don't know. I'm judging you, just so you know.
Hey man, well, we about to take a quick break. Is this society too woke? And what happens when we don't listen to the people that's right on Talking Greasy?
This episode is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/greasy. There you'll have access to over 180,000 titles right from your smartphone.
Y'all niggas is lying. It's time to talk that shit.
Before we get into the big old conversation, let's start out easy. This whole woke conversation, good thing, bad thing, or annoying thing. I mean, what do you think about it, AJ?
So give me an explanation. I need like an example. What you mean the whole woke conversation? Because woke, it's been around, I guess, like for a while.
Oh well,
how woke is too woke?
The reason why I brought up the whole woke movement was to talk about, Black people. I can see across the board, even though we still got our problems or whatever, I'm noticing that more Black people are, becoming more aware of our problematic ways, learning more about our history, talking to each other more, trying to figure out, what we're going to do. I see a whole bunch of Black vegetarians and vegans now all out the blue. I see people starting, leaving their jobs, getting their own businesses now. Yeah. I see a whole new motion. So
people on the keto, it just made me, just made me laugh about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think this whole movement is for the best, for the worst, or can knowledge be a bad thing?
I mean, I think it's good. I mean, I think it depends. So when I think of woke, I think of somebody that's, I guess, like a little bit more like a conspiracy theorist or something like that. Right, like a hotep or something like that. Aware, I think, is a good thing. I think we do need to be aware, especially as we start getting older. Look, I'm 31 now. I'll be 32. So obviously I got a kid. Like I said, I'm married or whatever. People are getting further along into their jobs and stuff. So I think you do need to know what's going on in politics, what's going on in your local community. You need to know what's going on at your daughter's school. But at the same time, I don't like when people are, like, it's a little bit, like, too much for me. And I think I talked about it on Twitter, just talking about the whole thing. Like, look, I'm not from Africa. I ain't never been to Africa or whatever. Like, I'm from Little Rock. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel what you're saying. Go back to the motherland. But it's like, brother, you ain't never been to the motherland.
But I mean, let's go back to Hotep, and then I want to hear April's point of view. Like, Hotep really just basically mean peace be with you. It's just, and literally, Hotep is used as like a derogatory term. Yeah. Like, hypothetically, if a Black person was like, right after the Mexican people get done with the concentration camps, they're coming for Black people, and everybody's like, oh, you a Hotep. You this, you that. I'm like, if they'll throw Mexicans in there, how long before niggas get back in cages? I mean,
that's true.
But then somebody like literally, I was talking greasy with a friend, and somebody accused me like, you seen
being a Hotep?
Yeah, I was like, me. I was like,
really?
I was like, I haven't said nothing Hotepish this whole time. If anything I said came from a fact place or something I seen myself.
What do you, while we're talking about it, and what do you just think or define Hotep as?
Well, first thing first, I don't see Hotep as as a derogatory
Gotcha.
term. Then number one. Then
Okay.
number two, I just think that's just a dismissive term used by people who don't want to hear the information. Cause that is a thing. Cause you can tell people, hey, milk is bad for you, fried chicken is bad for you, all this shit is bad for you. They're just gonna be like, man, shut the fuck up, bro. You get that hotep shit out of here, bro. Get that trying to live a healthy life bullshit out of here, bro. Like what?
So anything
Like, is
that we don't want to hear, we automatically assign a
man,
derogatory term
man,
towards
who
it or
you
something.
telling?
Yeah.
Man, it's like, and that's why, and that's another reason why I kind of hate the oversharing in the internet now, because it's not even like people. You can tell people 1 + 1. There's gonna be somebody who say it's 3. There's one person who tell me, "Oh, you need to stop telling the truth. You need to stop saying all that crazy bull." I'm like
Do you
where
think
y'all
that's really
get them
people
from?
saying, like, I get that, but then there's also people who just want to be what you call quote unquote
Contrarians.
trolls, right?
Yes.
They just want to like just rock the boat just because.
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
contrary.
Good morning.
Yeah, you.
Definitely
Yeah,
a contrarian.
he is. I
Man.
would say you are.
You know, by my nature.
I don't know.
So you like to question everything.
I'm just different, man. So it's just like, typically, at least, like, you know, you kind of gave the definition or whatever. And I like that you did that, just talking about, okay, people have kind of turned it into a negative thing or whatever. Well, shit, people turn black people into a negative thing or whatever. That's just history. That's what happens to things. But you also have examples of these dudes where, again, I've literally had arguments with people, and I'm just like, yo, how does that affect your life right now? What are you going to do about it? Well, shit, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to do that. And it's like, what type of life are you living? Like, if you that serious about it to where you feel like the government is doing this, all of this is planned, I'm just going to live and I'm going to die. What type of existence is that? And then are you really trying to wake people up? Like, what is your activism really like? So that's kind of the thing where I challenge individuals who talk all that good shit. And really, in my opinion, some of them try to talk down to people. You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
Okay, I definitely see
have
that.
interracial relationships and stuff. Like, I'm not on that side of it to where it's like I'm super black everything. I'm literally for everybody. You know what I mean? I would like for us all to coexist.
See, no shade, but I kind of hate that term because black people.
Hey, what term?
The whole, you know how black people is. You know, I'm for everybody. I'm not on that. I mean, be for black people.
I'm
Like I don't hear.
Why can't you do both?
You shouldn't.
Why you shouldn't do both?
Because nobody, no.
everybody in your definition, though? Who's
No.
everybody?
Okay, yeah. Let me hear that before I say
Right.
what I'm gonna
Who's
say.
everybody?
So this is what I mean. So look, I grew up with white people. I grew up with Asian people. I grew up with these people. We all humans. Like, yeah, I'm for black people. I'm black all day, every day. But I got love for people. The Bible tells us to love everybody. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
by,
and that same Bible, Jesus was in churches knocking over stuff and whipping people.
that is a fact. That also happened. I mean, you got the Old
guy-
Testament, you got
yeah.
the New Testament.
I mean, he died on the cross with, you know, shitting on the cross and bleeding out. So I mean,
so what do you?
I mean, listen, it's cool to be a Christian because, you know, Christian is in our roots, and hell, it's roots in Africa. So I can agree with that, but like, I feel like I'm gonna go 50-50 with it. Those black people that's so pro-black, it's extreme. I respect it. I don't understand it because I'm not on that level.
I don't
but
respect it.
But at the same time, I do because every other race goes that hard for their race.
I mean, are you talking about like a Minister Louis Farrakhan? Because I wouldn't call him a hotep. Or are you talking about somebody else? I mean, it's different levels to what you're explaining or whatever.
Okay.
I get being pro-black, you know what I mean? And I get respecting pro-black, but not to where it's to the detriment and death of other people, where you are condemning other individuals that also live on this earth with us.
They will literally,
yeah.
I mean, with that same energy, I mean, I'm gonna say this.
Don't
and
play devil's
What do you
advocate.
mean? Right.
No,
okay,
there ain't
first
no-
of all,
there
what do you
ain't-
mean by the condemning,
No.
like the deaf and like what? So they're like they're pro-black, but then they're also like
Don't date
deaf-
white women.
deaf-
Don't have mixed,
Damn,
don't
you
have
really
mixed
want white women.
babies. You know, I mean, this is a fact.
That is part
is
of
your wife
the-
white or black?
My wife black.
Okay, I didn't know. I was about to say, I about to say, if your wife was white, then I understand. Okay, you don't want to leave your wife out, but
You should understand either way.
I mean, not really. But anyway,
So you don't mess with white people?
white women.
White people.
I mean, like a few,
What do you mean by
very
mess
few.
though? See, like I feel like
Like,
there's levels. Like, okay, yes, I have to work with white people every day, but I don't go out of my way to like befriend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I'm not like trying to like if I see this is gonna be hella racist, but if I see Dante and Billy, I'm going for Dante. I mean, like it's not.
That's fine. You got a preference.
I don't
have a problem with that.
I mean, my thing is the only reason I'm not on that level with black people be for everybody else, because everybody ain't for black people. Just flat out.
I get that.
Like, because no, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Have love for people and love black people.
No, okay. Let me meet you in the middle. I can love everybody, but I can know everybody's intentions too.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because giving love to an enemy that has none for you is death.
But is everybody your enemy?
It depends.
If they're not on your side, yes.
That's not everybody.
But
that's a lot of people.
But it depends. Right. You have to be aware of your surrounding and who you're dealing with in certain situations, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So I'm just coming off this whole Juneteenth thing.
Okay.
With work and everything else. And the fact that a lot of people don't even know what Juneteenth is. A lot of white people don't know what Juneteenth is. A lot of black people actually don't know what Juneteenth is. That's, to be honest.
Well, if you're not from the South, you may not know.
I'm not from the South, and I knew.
Boom.
We celebrated it, though.
Oh, okay.
And I knew. And we celebrated in Missouri. We celebrated Juneteenth. I knew what it was. And it's something that...
Missouri's part of the South.
What'd you say?
Missouri's part of the South.
That's what I was about to say. Midwest is basically...
Yeah, I guess. Right.
Now, if you get Chicago, Detroit, then you out the South.
Union, Confederate,
but
yes,
even
we're part
then,
of
you
the
like
South.
elbowing the South a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. If we're talking Union, Confederate, yes, we're part of the South. But a lot of people every day don't consider Missouri part of the South,
Okay.
So that's what I'm just saying. But we celebrated it. And so we just came off of doing it. So I watched the whole Juneteenth play, did all that. We had some speakers come and just remembering the history and why, talking. So there was a part about the Juneteenth. The play that I watched is actually by Mr. Greg Ellis, former Dallas Cowboy, where the white slave master's daughter wanted to be with the now freed slave. That was, and he already had a wife. I had a wife, under slave law. He had a wife and everything. But, she just came in and was like, no, now he's going to be my man. I want him to be my man. Like, just not even thinking about, oh, he already has a wife. He already has, just disregarding all of that. Doesn't care, they don't care about our laws, our, what we going through. Like, now I have access to you and that's what I want. I'm going to get it and I'm going to take it. Like, I don't know. So I guess that's where my mentality is right now.
Is fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of people's history, yeah. I mean, a lot of races. But I'm just coming from, not to say that I'm super pro-black, even though I got my Black Girl Magic earrings in today and my black shirt. But I guess I'm in the middle. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm in the middle. I'm not super pro-black.
I grew up with white folk.
I did too. Right. I can't disregard.
Like people that got my back more than some black people is white.
Mm-hmm.
That don't matter. Like that don't matter to me. You know what I mean? Black, white.
Wow,
purple.
you sound just like one of them white dudes. Hey, some of my best friends are some of my
best friends are black.
Some of the
No.
Okay, first of all, hold on. Let me clarify. I can't sound like that if I'm talking about white people or whatever.
I'm just saying
That's just like talking about white
you on
people
the opposite
can't
end.
be racist or something. No. I'm not even in that conversation.
Okay. Let me fall back then. But my thing is the reason why I'm scared about people in this whole woke movement is, yes, we're learning ourselves. Yes, we're getting better, but like there's still this little divide. And it's really showing, everybody's not on the same page. And we talked about it in Being Black in 2050. We get into that stage where America's either about to end or it's about to change significantly to where, life is going to be different on a whole new scale. So with this whole half of us learning, growing, letting go of politics to a certain degree, because you still gotta, vote locally. Now, if you don't want to vote for the president, that's on you or whatever. But you still starting that black business, still working with black people and all that. So the other half of us is like, hey, I'm from everybody. Hey, we got it okay over here. Stop thinking the world is against you and try to grow, and they forget white supremacy. They forget the government. They forget other races even got a country to come to because of us. And it's like,
man, that's funny.
It's like weird.
That's funny that you say that because I wasn't expecting you to separate it like that. The whole pull them up by your bootstraps or whatever mentality, whatever. What I see when we talk about being woke and not being woke is people that don't give a fuck. They like, look, all I'm worried about is what's going on my block or whatever. I don't care what's going on outside of me. Those are the people who are more or less not woke. The people who are woke, like I say, I feel like I'm kind of like in the middle ground or whatever, where I do care about this and that, but I also care about this or whatever too. I'm not to the point of just,
On the extreme end.
On the extreme end, but what you just said is kind of funny because you think about it differently, saying woke is the people who are aware. They see that this is going on. They see that this is going on. Whereas, again, you have people who are woke who are like, I'm not going to be a part of that establishment. I see what's going on, and I am counter to that. Like, they're that level of woke or whatever. So it's, you have, I guess, a good side and a bad side.
I mean, yeah, just like Gucci and Prada over here making nigga ski masks and and all this other shit. And then
if it wasn't for the backlash, niggas would have bought that.
That's true.
If it wasn't for the backlash, people would have bought it.
I agree.
Because
we was still buying it afterwards. Like when we thought everybody was protesting. When it was Floyd and all them.
And then like Dove making that commercial where like somebody was black and then they washed their skin and they turned white.
I heard about it, but I never saw the commercial.
I seen it. And then I ain't gonna lie, I fucked up on this one. Starbucks, they wouldn't let them brothers have their meeting there, and one brother tried to use the bathroom. And then I ain't gonna lie, I fucked up and got a macchiato not too long ago. So I'm just being honest. If I'm being
meetings at Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm gonna be honest, so I gotta be honest though, right?
Starbucks was easy for me. I was like, boycott Starbucks. I was like, hell yeah, let's boycott Starbucks. I don't go to that motherfucker no way. Man, it was easy.
Like, and no shade. I know Nike, quote unquote, sided with us with the whole disagreement with the NFL and Kaepernick. But if Nike would have came out with a T-shirt that said "fuck you niggas" and put like a check on the end of it, niggas would buy it.
Wow.
You think I'm lying?
Wow.
You think I'm lying?
No, if Kanye came out with a combination with a collab with Nike with that shit, niggas
people would buy it. Yeah.
No, just Nike by themselves. If it just said nigga and then they had like the check up under
but
it.
you saying the same thing he's saying about the Gucci thing.
That's funny.
Right, he's saying the same
They would.
thing. Like, even though Gucci had the nigga ski mask, it was still niggas that didn't want to, was like, all right, I would have copped that shit if there wasn't for backlash. They'd been like, oh, that's tight, that's hot, whatever. They would have bought it. You saying the same thing. I agree though. Because at a certain level, at end of the day, it's material. It's the money.
But you know what? Having this conversation, it makes me go backwards. Just not even that long ago. Because civil rights wasn't that long ago. There's people alive today who seen that, lived that.
That's a fact.
Oh, did they call Martin Luther King too woke? Marcus Garvey too woke? Did they call Harriet Tubman with her big ass woke?
What? Uncalled for.
Are you talking about black people?
Uncalled for.
Because when we're talking about who called who what, white people did feel a certain type of way about Malcolm and about Martin or whatever. But black people,
they feel more than a way.
But also black people, you got black people who did not like desegregation. They were against desegregation. Again, when we talk about black,
of course.
So again, it depends on who you're talking about when you say that. It's funny, but it's true. We wasn't saying that about, at least the majority of black people probably wasn't saying that about Martin, but it was other people who was like, nigga, sit your ass down.
Man,
why you trying to mess it up? We good. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, let me ask you a question, and I'm kind of nervous to say this, but tell me if this is a true statement. Well, the average black person okay with racism, living in racism?
What you mean? Elaborate. If we're okay with white racism?
No. Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Like in society, even though we're treated differently, fucked up, certain people, if they do certain things, like your Stephen A. Smith, yeah, from Django. But anyway, if they get in certain positions, say certain stuff fucked up about black people, they get a certain amount of fame, a certain amount of money, they can live comfortably. Is there a group of black people who's willing, who love the position they got in this racist system so much that they won't go against the grain?
Are there people like that? Yes.
Yes, I would
Yes,
say what you
right.
just explained. Yes.
Yes.
With explaining it and putting in that context, I'm gonna say yeah. I mean, plenty of people feel like that. That's kind of like the accepted racism or whatever. Like racism never died. You know what I mean? It just got more acceptable.
I mean, I hate to be that dude, but I mean, and I know a lot of people gonna go in the comments. Do you think Barack Obama? Do you think he?
Wait a minute.
Do you think he?
Wait a minute.
Do you think he traded saying or what he was saying, acting the way he was acting in the office for him to have a safe place in society?
I'm gonna let you go first because I've had arguments with people about this because of the church and because of the LGBTQ stuff.
Go ahead.
So I'll let you go first.
Who, me or him?
You know, I'm talking about you.
Well, okay, what do you mean? Like, do you think that he traded his being a black man to be president, basically?
No. Did he become a black man as to be the face of the United States while they do and say racist stuff and give him this sort of notoriety or to make him this certain figure, even though he wasn't truly on our side? Do you feel like?
That's what he meant.
Do you feel like he was?
Well, I'm gonna need you to talk then. Why do you feel like he went on our side?
People feel like Barack Obama was the whitest black person. He was more acceptable from society.
But you know what? And we're going to have a whole conversation about this. Black people and then black immigrants are totally different from each other. And because one has a culture base they can return to, the other one doesn't.
Does not.
That's correct.
Their culture is based here.
That's why I try to distinguish between being a black American and an African American. Because for some African Americans, that's disrespectful. Because it's like, yo, y'all, we not the same. Even though we are part of the diaspora, we're not the same.
So you consider yourself a black American and not a black immigrant or black? Yeah, of course, I do. I mean, because I've never been to Africa. Like you said, so my culture's here in America. I mean, so you mean go ahead. So
the conversation now and it's creating a divide within black culture between American descendants of slaves and black people who came over here. The whole reparations talk, too woke of a conversation or long overdue conversation?
Long overdue. What do you say?
So I've been for that. I mean, since college or whatever. I know that we went to the, what was it? The world, it was like the World Nations or whatever. We tried to get reparations
United
or whatever.
Nations?
No, it wasn't the United Nations. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we tried to get reparations, and I was hoping that conversation came back up or whatever because, again, we saw what happened with, other individuals, the Holocaust and different things, and I do believe black people should get reparations. There's a big conversation on it, and I listened to it on Twitter with Ta-Nehisi Coates and Danny Glover and all these different people talking about it, and even he, Ta-Nehisi Coates kind of spoke about, we on this panel cannot reflect our entire community, but we want to have this dialogue, we want to have this conversation or whatever. So I do.
Man, boy, fuck the dialogue. I need a chick. I need check. I need benefits, and I need benefits for my next season.
You damn sure can't be a hotep. Let me just go. Whoever called him a hotep, let me tell you something. This man is just
okay. Let me play devil advocate with that. This is coming from my mom.
I'm gonna talk about Barack.
My mom. We're gonna go back to Barack, to my mom and dad. If we did get reparations, would you do what you need to do with the check appropriately?
Well,
we all talking about reparations, but what would you do? Would you actually do with the reparations check, which we should be doing, which is buying land, property, investing it back into our community instead of going buying Jordans?
40 acres in a Lambo?
Right. Exactly.
No shade. If we're gonna do that, I mean the Jewish community, they've prospered with their reparations. The Asian community has, but the Indians, they have free health care, free college, and they get a check from the government. But
on their reservations.
Yeah. But
so you're gonna try to make black reservations?
It wouldn't hurt.
Shit, we had them, they bombed them.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. But I feel like with our society today and the mentality, like we were talking with the Gucci, the Nike, would we actually appropriately spend and use our reparations check?
Well, if it was just a straight out check, it would literally.
I mean, cause we all got a stimulus check. I mean, I know I ain't spending it appropriately because I still ain't got it.
My thing is, if we talking about an actual ballpark number, if we just talking about the labor of slavery, we're not talking about psychological, everything else. We already at 17 trillion. Cause no shade, all these immigrants want to talk. Literally anybody who comes to America shits on black people, but literally no slavery, no country.
True.
Correct.
I
This
agree.
country was built off slavery.
Our
and
slave
still
labor.
is.
Yeah, I agree.
Literally, once the first people got here, it was nothing but Indians, and then when the white folks come, the white folks came with disease and everything, started killing the Indians.
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like I feel like, and I'm just gonna put black people on blast. I feel like some black people are so afraid to have these. Just the conversation, not even the action, but just bring up the conversation. Because black people have this thing where we don't want to be offensive to nobody. Like, again, I'm not saying you, but in your conversation, you said, hey, why can't I be for black people and everybody else? Now, I know what you meant saying that, but a lot of other black folks, that's just to divert and get away from their blackness and leave their blackness out the conversation.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And don't let a black person be an immigrant, or don't let them be mixed. They gonna try to get away from their blackness so far, it's ridiculous.
So look, I mean, everybody is not educated. So when you talk about some people are afraid to have that conversation, I've heard somebody say this about talking about the Bible. Like they don't even jump in. Like they would rather, they've been shunned by the church, or they are part of the church, but they just like, yo, I don't even like getting into that because I don't feel comfortable speaking about it or whatever. I'm not that knowledgeable. And then same thing with black people. Some people, they don't have enough of the information and history to articulately talk about reparations or whatever else black people need or whatever. I do want to answer your question. I think some of us will do right with the money. Most of us will not. Because, again, lack of education. You know what I mean? Just like when we talk about financial awareness. That's not something that's common in our household.
In black, yep.
Yeah, and that's
We talked about that being black in 2050.
and that's why I said the money plus benefits. Because if you have a certain amount of land, you give access to certain loans and a certain level of education and everything else, and you let that flourish for 20, 30, 50 years, that add up to something.
We have to have a plan. Black Lives Matter. I mean, like, you have to have, like, one
Which
point
is
of
funded,
attack. Like,
which is funded by a white corporation.
What?
It is.
A plan?
Black Lives Matter.
Oh, okay.
all of them?
All the merchandise, all the lobbyists to push agendas. Yes, you think a bunch of black people?
We gotta distinguish before you put a blanket on Black Lives Matter, because we know this is not like the Black Power movement. So let's distinguish between one collective of people and the Black Lives Matter is really like here, there,
Exactly.
like it's not
Black
one.
Lives Matter is a more than just blacks wanting to.
I mean, true, but the top representatives, are the faces, are black women.
Yeah.
I think one.
Some of the top activists came from Missouri, St. Louis. Hey.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying Black Lives Matter, like he was saying.
Yeah,
is,
but with
more
that,
of a,
yeah, but going back to Missouri with that same energy, there were 5 real activists on the streets actually moving stuff, and they're dead mysteriously.
That's true.
So
that is also true.
So I mean, with that same energy, this side of the movement is financed and alive and flourishing and doing surviving R. Kelly documentaries. But then the other side, who's on the streets actually moving and getting the people together, is dead.
That is the actual activism.
Yes.
I talked about that with my friend CJ. I want to say from the Awakened Soul podcast, just talking about some of the different people that died or whatever. But the only reason I brought that up was just saying that we got to be on the same page. Like, are we going to rebuild Black Wall Street? What I'm saying is black people as a whole, we have to have a mission, whether it's going to be agriculture, whether it's going to be, businesses. Right now, nobody knows. There's not one thing that everybody is going to do. So when you I brought up BLM just to say, man, everybody was so disconnected. And it's like, yo, we need one signifying movement. Like, what are we going to do? So with reparations, it's like, all right, somebody got to tell somebody. Again, we don't have a Malcolm. We don't have a Martin. We're not going to talk about Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton.
Well, first thing first, no shade. If we have a black leader, it's going to get infiltrated, and most black people are so scared they'll just ride with the leader till he gets killed and disperse.
See what I mean? Conspiracy. Now, this is when you talk about what is the positive side. Could you not take anything positive from that and say, okay?
What you mean he'll be infiltrated?
You automatically went to
by the government, by
anybody,
white people,
anybody. Because like literally, I'm saying if you're in a no.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question because you just said that. Do you believe in Martin's dream speech? Do you believe that's possible? Because when you say infiltrated, it's basically saying black people are never going to get further than a certain point in this country. So when you talk about that, it's like, well, damn, we might as well not do nothing.
No. I didn't say that. I said if
I know I said
I said that if we get a black leader, then he organizes a group. Yes, we'll be strong as a group as long as he's alive. But the minute he either goes to jail, gets shot, or anything like that, the group will disperse. And if the group stays alive, then it will get infiltrated by people with so many different contradictory missions, it will disperse.
So you don't mean the actual leader, you mean the group after the leader dies will get infiltrated.
Yes.
Do you not think that we can learn from history? Because it's happened before. Everything you're saying, I agree. You're right. But it's 2019, finna be 2020.
What that mean?
Do you think we have to repeat our own history?
No, we don't need to. We should.
I mean, we shouldn't, but we will. We're humans. Because every
you don't
I'm a pessimist, but I'm more of an optimist.
No, right, you don't feel like we could have somebody. Every
could
rise as the black leader.
Every generation has they wealth, they building, they fall, they disease, they politics, they soldiers. It's just.
And how do we break it?
We're saying.
How do we break it?
We have to break it. Not forget how do we break it. We have to break it.
I mean, well, solution based is it's obvious that we need to organize as a group and kind of get on code by on code. I mean, know that we're gonna work with somebody who looks like us. We're gonna defend ourselves and as a group. Physically, financially, spiritually, all that. Then third off, we're gonna stop talking about it. We're gonna give more solutions, such as just being on code, working with people who look like us more, team up with more people like us. Because, like I said earlier, there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people in the black movement who will literally sell out the movement for their own advances.
I agree with that. True, but I feel like there's something we need to do. Like, we need to have a plan. We do. Yeah. Like, we need to. For me, I feel like we won't advance until we conquer government.
And I mean, true, but I'm going to say this and then I'm going to wrap it up and get everybody's information. I mean, when it comes to politics, no shade. This is a serious question. I asked this before on Put Yourself On episode. If black people stop voting, would it really change anything? Like, literally, black people never, forever, like from now until whenever America goes out the window, or no matter how long America exists, we never vote. We just always organize, pay lobbyists for stuff we want, and lawyers for when we need it for obvious reasons, and other type. Could we survive if we never voted again? Remainder of our lives and our children's lives. If black people never voted again.
No, I don't think we can.
Would it change anything?
I think it would change. Yes, I do. I mean, I see what you're saying. Lobbyists are key. They're very much key. Having that in your pocket and all that stuff. But I still think, I wouldn't want to disrespect the history of my ancestors who died to fight for my right to vote.
Well, then you're not learning from history. Because what did it get them?
Yeah, I got them a coffin, but still,
what did it get them? It got us to 2019, where we are today.
Women's rights, civil rights. Yeah.
Listen. Even if there is laws to protect us, if the people who's supposed to protect us aren't enforcing it, what good are the laws?
I mean, we got that now with the police.
But hey, I want to thank our guests for coming in today and really talking with us and really getting to nitty gritty if this too woke thing is
conversation.
Is too much or not.
I know we need to have a part two. Too woke part two.
Lord, my guy right here, the Gap, be like, yo, on Obama, on this thing
I know,
about
we didn't get to
bowling,
Obama. We didn't get to
brother,
Obama.
You know how much I could, and then it was something else that you said. But Lord, now I appreciate being here, man.
But hey, brother AJ, can you give us all your social media and let them know how a little bit about your podcast?
Yes, this is AJ again from the What We Gon' Do podcast. That's GONE. You can find me pretty much anywhere that you can find the podcast. I talk about society, culture, and when I say that, I mean like music, sports, family, relationships, politics, a little bit of everything under the sun. I'm just, different. I'm trying to put out a different voice and a more real voice that's talking about stuff that we need to hear. Mm-hmm. And that's my whole thing in a nutshell.
How can they find you, sir?
So, What We Gon' Do pod on
a construction site
and Twitter.
Right.
That's where you can find me. And that's the best place. Just hit me up.
Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter. What We Gon' Do pod.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all.
Again, this is April Danielle. Thank y'all for tuning in. Another episode. Thank you, AJ, for coming on. This was a good episode. It was got a little. I think we need to have a 2 woke part 2. I think we might have to do that. But anyway, April Danielle, APRYLDANYELLE on all my personal social media with all the construction in the background, and then of course Talkin Greasy on everything else. D.
Hey, it's your boy Darnell. Hit us up at talkingreasy@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, advertise on the show, or if you need some construction work, hit us up at talkingreasy@gmail.com.
Okay, wait. Sorry, I meant to say something really quick. So the shirt I have on, the Black Victory, this is from Mr. Victory. He's Mr. Victory on Instagram, Twitter. He gifted me this shirt. He has a podcast as well. He's a host. So I appreciate that. I wanted to wear my 2 Woke Black Victory shirt on the 2 Woke show. And I appreciate him for the t-shirt. I just wanted to say that. Also, finally, again, from the top of the show, our podcast meetup is going to be July 13th, Saturday from 4 p.m. to 7 or until, we're going to get crazy. It's going to be us, Talking Greasy, me and Darnell. It's Better This Way podcast, Hear Ye podcast, and we are fluent in. They getting fluked in. Not really. But we got OLF, Out of Left Field podcast from all the way from Philly coming in. So come out, meet us, have fun, network, socialize, all that good stuff on July 13th. Good friends, beer and garden. Beer Garden Burger House. There we go. On July 13th.
Also, if you would like to follow me on my personal page, hit me up at Darnell Does It on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, because it ain't easy talking greasy.